Hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Coincider live stream. Apologies for being 30 minutes later than usual. I had something pop up that I had to take care of. So, you know how it goes. Usually, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday at what time? 12 noon Eastern time, USA time. But today, it is 30 minutes later than usual because I had something pop up. Okay, but I'm really excited today because we are going to talk about. My God, getting so many messages. Okay. Um, the Polymarket Suitgate, which is a lot of drama. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it as well as we dig into that drama. Like, what does this mean for Polymarket? What does this mean for predictions market? Is it a suit or not? Don't answer me yet, chat, but we will get to that, and I want to hear your thoughts. I'll put up a poll in YouTube when that comes. Hello, Pratik. Sorry I'm late today for the stream. Oh, also, if you're watching this after the fact, I will leave timestamps for you to make it easier to watch and skip around. Though you should watch the whole thing because we have some really juicy and interesting segments throughout the stream. Also, one last thing before we dive in. Last time the goal was 100 likes on the stream, both during the stream and after, and we were able to reach it. So thank you so much. And if you're watching this stream today after the fact or right now and you like it at all, then please drop a like. Please smash that like button, and that would help me out immensely. I'm super appreciative towards you. All right. You guys know what we got to do. We got to start out with a market pulse. Now, let me pull up some stuff. Let me pull up some stuff. Give me a second. Okay. Okie dokie. Let me share my screen. Let's get to 100. Hit the likes, folks. Thank you. All right, let's dive into the market pulse. Got to start off with a quick view of the overall markets. Bitcoin's up a little bit today. There was kind of like a just choppiness, you know. We kind of pulled up to almost 110K again, but then drop back down, now climbing again. Hopefully we can just break above 110K and stay there. But it's a lot of sideways, right? ETH is doing really well, comparatively speaking. We should definitely take a look at the ETH BTC ratio chart, actually. Let me pull that up because that's a surefire sign of alt season when ETH BTC is doing well in a sustained manner. Let's see. Launch chart. Just curious. We haven't taken a look at ETH BTC in a good while. Okay, it's showing some strength, but look at this brutal downtrend, right? All cycle long downtrend. So now it's doing decent. We just need this to like really break out of this downtrend convincingly, right? Fear and greed index, not much change, 66. Not too greedy. I'm feeling more neutral, but definitely not fear either, right? Now, ETFs. Let's take a quick look at the ETFs. A little bit less inflows, but still positive. We like to see a lot of consistent inflows, right? So nothing really to note here. And then let's look at hyperliquid long short trader ratio. Yeah, still kind of high, but that's okay. I think we could sustain at these levels for now. When there's a lot more long traders than short traders on perp exchanges like hyperliquid, that isn't usually that great, but it can stay at elevated levels, that's for sure. Okay. Liquidation heat map. Let me move this a little bit. See, there's a lot of liquidity to be grabbed above 110K. Basically, liquidate the shorters, right? So I want to see the price. We've already came down and eaten up a lot of liquidity. I mean, it looks like people are still longing again. So I wouldn't be surprised if we went down again as well, right? But like I always say, usually the market likes to liquidate and punish the longs and shorts. So if there's really heavy amount of liquidity at some level, the market will likely go there eventually to liquidate them, to hunt your longs and shorts, right? The last thing I want to take a look at is Crypto EQ's dashboard. If you don't know, Retail DAO VIP members who are 250K tokens or more get free premium access to Crypto EQ. This is like Masari or Delphi Digital, but like better for retail investors. They have really deep dive institutional level reports, and they also have signals. They also have signals for us, like price signals. Let me switch back to market cap and sentiment signal, like sentiment analysis, right? So many useful things. But let me take a look at Ethereum, because we are going to talk about Ethereum in today's stream. Let's see. It's a hold rating right now. Interesting. Investor signal and day trader signal. Let's look at day trader signal. Buy zone, sell zone. Like these signals are so great for like getting better entries, swing trading, day trading. And then look at this core report. This is like oh my goodness, this is like 100-page institutional level report with data and like charts and graphics and everything. Oh my, I'm still scrolling. This is even deep. But the point is, retail DAO VIP members get access to Crypto EQ Premium for free. First 50 members, first come, first serve. So that's a reason to get premium, which is 250K or more retail DAO tokens, retail tokens. So yeah, just wanted to share this with y'all. But basically, the dashboard says, let's look at Bitcoin actually. It's also a hold right now. It's not a clear wait, why is this showing Ethereum stuff? There we go. Yeah, this is a really, I mean, it's not perfect, right? But as you can see over time, it's a pretty good indicator. It's a pretty good swing indicator. Okay, let's see. Let us see. So, the next segment I want to do is biggest news. And for this, folks, we're talking about ETH, Ethereum ETH. I have a lot of stuff to show you. Okay. Is ETH about to turn around? Is it ETH season coming soon? That's what I want to know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start a poll for you guys to vote on. Give me a sec. Let me start a poll in the chat. Start a poll. Is ETH back? Yes. No. Is ETH back? Vote, folks. I want to know what you think. Is ETH back? And in the biggest news segment, we are going to discuss this, okay? So there's a lot of Bitcoin treasury companies, but now there are more and more ETH treasury companies. Fundstrat's Tom Lee, who is quite famous if you're in the space, is joining Bitmine as chairman, and they are trying to become the MicroStrategy of Ethereum, raising 250 mil. And let's check this out. He predicts banks will buy ETH to secure their stable coins, not just for speculation, but for infrastructure. And remember, you guys may not know Tom Lee if you're in here, if you weren't here back in the day, but he was calling for Bitcoin to, like, he was calling that the bear market bottom was in like 2019, 2018, 2019, when things are really bad. And technical traders were like, Bitcoin's going so much lower. He's like, nah, bottom's in, Bitcoin to new highs. He was right from the he's my hero because he's all about the fundamentals. And we at Coinsider are about the fundamentals. Fundstrat, great question. Fundstrat is they're like a Wall Street like research. Fundstrat. They're like Wall Street research firm. Fundstrat. Market strategy and sector research. They don't only do crypto, but he's a big bull. So don't fade Tom Lee. Do not fade Tom Lee. He was look. He was the guy calling for 55K Bitcoin when it was trading at 2K. People thought he was insane. Tom didn't care. He kept talking about the crazy Bitcoin prices. And he goes on CNBC and says ETH is the next Bitcoin. He says stablecoins are crypto's ChatGPT moment, and stablecoins make ETH more valuable. You think Wall Street isn't listening this time? Get ready for FOMO season. ETH to 10K because Tom Lee is calling it. Actually, no, I don't think ETH is going to go to 10K, at least not this cycle. But I'm more bullish on ETH than ever before because of things like this. Actually, let me see the thing. Yes, ETH season 56%. Okay, so there's still a lot of doubt here. But it's not only that. Check this out. SBET. I made such a big mistake. I bought SBET. I had a stream where I bought SBET and I sold it for Galaxy, but SBET has rocketed and they hold more ETH than ever before. They're earning through staking. They acquired more. They have over 200,000 ETH. And check this out. SBET went up to 16.29. They rang the closing bell at NASDAQ. I got in at like 10, but I was too impatient and I sold at like 11 or something like that. I was too impatient. SBET has rocketed Sharplink Gaming to the moon. Let's check this out. How many of y'all have SBET stock, by the way? Well, look, they had that big dump and I bought it around here, but I was too impatient. You guys need to tell me. Look, I sold around here and then now it's like rocketing again. By the way, real quick, guys, if you're watching, last stream we were able to get 100 likes. My goal is the same for this stream. If you could help me out real quick and smash that like, even if you're watching this afterward, watching the VOD, I would greatly appreciate it. So anyways, how many of y'all have SBET? This is rocketing. I bought it on a live stream a few weeks ago, but I was too impatient. Y'all need to knock some sense into me and be like, don't just like swing trade into Galaxy. And now Galaxy is, I'm going to be patient with Galaxy, but now it's like kind of sideways, you know? And SBET's doing better. Now, it's not only those companies. Bit Digital, they did something crazy. They accumulated 100,000 ETH. They converted their BTC holdings into ETH. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Everyone's like, Bitcoin's the best. These treasury companies only make sense with Bitcoin. Now this company sold all their Bitcoin for ETH. Do you think they made a huge mistake or no, guys? Uh, Not showing comments on stream? You mean like this, or what do you mean, Maverick? What do you mean by showing them on stream? Like pulling it up like this? SBET, I do not think it's tokenized anywhere. There's some meme coins called SBET, but SBET is a stock. So are these guys crazy or not? Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna end this poll. It's not it. This is not it. Oh wait, I need to go to the biggest news segment. There we go. Biggest news. Bid Digital sold all their BTC and bet on ETH. Study ETH if you want to make smart money. Bid Digital shifts entire treasury to Ethereum. BTBT, NASDAQ. Let's see. Bid Digital. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. And then check this out. Is it ETH season? Fidelity just published a new extremely bullish report on Ethereum and ETH. They believe ETH is a store of value. ETH is a $100 trillion asset trading at $316 billion. Okay, I don't know about that, but definitely a multi-trillion-dollar asset in my opinion. And I think, you know what? You know what? Everyone is like, oh, hype, SWE, whatever. Everyone is fading ETH. Max Payne, hear me out. Max Payne for crypto Twitter and crypto X would be ETH season outshining Hyperliquid's hype or Solana. Or, I mean, ETH has already been outperforming Solana in the past few months. Outperforming SWE. If ETH season comes and outperforms what everyone else thinks is better, that would be Max Payne for crypto Twitter. And as we know, the market likes to humble crypto Twitter. Personally, I wouldn't buy the Pump Fund token. I just think there's too many people that may dump. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if they used a lot of capital to protect the charts. Solana should be killing Ethereum. I mean, ETH is credibly neutral, and they build things the right way. They build things for like nation states and corporations, institutions. Do I think SWE is the next Solana? No, but I think SWE is good though. Yeah, the narrative is completely shifting. Exactly. Mic a bit closer to me like this. Is this better, folks? And last thing, folks. Another ETH strategy treasury, Game Square. And you know what's interesting about this one? This was just announced today. Another 100 million ETH treasury launched this morning. Ticker Game. And I think like Ninja has to do with this. Ninja, the famous streamer, if I'm not mistaken. Excited to see what Ninja does with Game. Yeah, this is the famous Fortnite streamer. You guys know him, right? The 100 million ETH treasury launched today. Game is backed by Twitch streamer Ninja. This Ninja, you guys remember him, right? Ninja freaking played Fortnite and had those funny hair colors. This guy, you guys know him. He's behind one of the biggest new Ethereum treasury companies. So, is this ETH season, folks? We will see. Ninja probably just streams and does businesses and stuff like that. He doesn't play as much. Okay. Um, Time for the main segment of the day. Polymarket Suitgate. Now, let me pull up some links because I have a lot of links here to dig into with y'all. A lot, a lot, a lot. Can you see me? Um, One sec. All right, can y'all see me? Hello, hello, I'm back. Am I back, folks? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Had some internet issues. So, overview. Polymarket is in a $215 million mess to determine whether Volodymyr Zelensky wore a suit last month. The platform initially resolved the bet to yes, even though Zelensky's NATO outfit didn't look like a traditional suit. Users then accused Polymarket of manipulating the outcome and took the issue to a third party. Is this a suit? Is this a suit, guys? Let me create a poll, actually. I want to hear what y'all think. Is he wearing a suit? Yes. No. Okay. And this just happened late last night. The Zelensky suit market settled to a no. Was this the right decision? This settled to a no. This was so much drama. We're going to look into this. There's so much to look into. Because you know why? It was such a debate. The designer of Zelensky's outfit said it is indeed a suit. And someone wrote, any no resolution will be considered a scam by the masses. They said, is it a classic suit? It is not a classic suit in the traditional sense. But yes, the outfit can be indeed referred to as a suit, though not a traditional one. Blah, 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 blah. So the designer said it is a suit, although not traditional. And then you know what's interesting? Polymarket's kind of own side account, Polymarket Intel, wrote that he is in a suit finally. Remember, this is a big deal because people got mad at him saying that he never wears a suit to like the meetings with like President Trump, blah blah blah. They're like, he needs to show respect and wear a damn suit. And so that became a market on Polymarket. They were like, will he wear a suit before July? And he wore this to the NATO dinner, and people were like, is it a suit? Should that market result to yes or no? So much debate about it. So much debate. Meanwhile, there are a ton of credible sources that acknowledge Zelensky wore a suit, including the tailor of the suit, Ukraine's official Instagram account, New York Post, BBC, Kiev Post, Reuters. So many different like sources say that he wore a suit. And look, I mean, these are the traditional suits, right? What everyone else is wearing. But is this a suit, though? Yeah, a lot of traditional sources in this thread, or a lot of official sources. And then even this guy, who is a menswear editor and writer, said he would call it a suit because it's the shortest, easiest way to describe the outfit without getting into the history of men's tailoring. But I would also recognize this is not what most people recognize as a suit. You know what? You guys know what? I asked some friends. I showed them the picture. They're not in crypto. They're not in Web3. They have no idea what Polymarket is. I asked them. I sent them the photo. I said, is this a suit? And you know what they said? They said no. They said no suit because of the jacket pockets and things like that. They said this is not a suit. So they don't know the context. They're not biased at all. They're normies. They're not biased at all. And yeah, so keep that in mind. Maybe the spirit of it in all the normies think that this answer is actually no. And that's why Polymarket isn't trying to interfere. You know, just some food for thought for y'all. And then people were mad because they pulled up a dictionary. So the dictionary definition is really vague, right? The dictionary definition is kind of vague. Like a lot of things could technically be considered a suit. So in that thing, maybe you can consider a suit. But you know what someone wrote? I can't find this tweet anymore, but someone wrote like, this is akin to like the market, some betting market is like, is this guy eating a sandwich, right? Like, will President Trump eat a sandwich? Let's just say that's the market. And President Trump eats a hot dog. And then they have a huge debate of, is a hot dog a sandwich, right? But I mean, yeah, technically it is, but is that the spirit? Is that the spirit of the question in the market? Because he's not eating like a ham and cheese and like lettuce, tomato, mayo sandwich. He's eating a hot dog. Should that resolve to yes or no? You could debate all the technicalities of it, or you can go with the spirit of it. Because if you're like, well, is President Trump eating a sandwich and he's eating a hot dog? I would say no. Even though technically you can say, well, technically it's right. It got to resolve it to yes, right? Is this the same kind of debate going on here? Like all these technicalities and whatnot? You guys know what I mean here? So if you think about it from the here, let me show you right here. Nick Tomino, or sorry if I butchered his name, said that there were some other issues with auger markets and things like that, but the spirit of the market, aka the average person interpreted the market, there's a nuanced interpretation based on small details. In my opinion, For a prediction market platform to succeed, it's important to resolve according to the spirit of the market. Otherwise, the masses won't trust it. So that's the point here. I was like, at first I was thinking, yes, he's wearing a suit. Right? At first I was like, yeah, he's wearing a suit. But then after I asked all my friends, gave them zero context, and they said, no, that is not a suit, I'm like, dang, maybe the spirit of this should be no, which is why everyone is mad, but Polymarket won't budge. Maybe the spirit of this is actually no, that is not a suit. You know? Polymarket, there's Kalshi. Let me show you. Kalshi, here's one. Actually, I'll get into this in a bit. But Kalshi is the prediction market too. Yeah, Kalshi is also a popular one. But yeah, point is, folks, the spirit, two slice, if the hot dog is not, but look, wait a sec. Check this out. Is a hot dog a sandwich? A hot dog technically fits the dictionary definition of sandwich, meat between two pieces of bread, but many people argue it's a distinct food item. So that's the point. This is like technicalities arguing. This is what Maverick says, you have to be technical and pedantic to minimize any ambiguity. But if President Trump is eating a hot dog, is he eating a sandwich? You know, you could argue the shit out of that. But the spirit of it, I argue, is no. If he eats a hot dog, then you could argue technicalities, but that's not what people meant when they're asking if he's eating a sandwich, like a ham and cheese sandwich or like with lettuce, tomato, mayo, right? So that's why I changed my mind. I have changed my mind about the Zelensky suit thing. At first I said yes. Now I agree that the spirit of it, and if you ask normies who aren't coping, the answer is no. Key distinct for sandwich is 2 slices of bread, so it's not a baguette. I see. Trustworthy oracles. We will look at that in a sec. But I want to see what y'all voted on the poll too. Is he wearing a suit? Wow, a lot more yes than no. Interesting. I have more here though. One sec. So this is how it works in terms of the oracle. Polymarket uses UMA as a oracle to resolve bets. The real-world outcome is fed to Polymarket smart contracts by UMA's optimistic oracle. The result is assumed to be correct unless challenged or disputed by someone. Now, what happens when someone challenges and disputes a result? UMA token holders get to vote and decide on the correct result. In other words, in case of a dispute, token holders get to vote based on the majority, 51%, decide the result. So it's the majority in terms of the token weight decides the result. One needs 51% voting power to manipulate the data that gets fed into smart contract that can potentially have millions of dollars locked in. This is from 2024, by the way. And here's some more details. People are mad. They're calling this a scam. They're saying just 4 wallets control 43% of all UMA voting power on the Polymarket Zelensky suit dispute. This isn't governance. This isn't community owned. This is cartel. We were promised decentralization, fairness, and transparency. Instead, we got collusion, whale control, and opaque manipulation. This is a violation of the core principles of crypto, disgrace to Web3. And this is the UMA dispute votes for Polymarket by voter and vote. And here, the Polymarket Zelensky. Oh, you accidentally voted yes. Can you switch your vote? I think you might be able to switch your vote. I don't know though. You should be able to rescind your vote or something. The Polymarket Zelensky suit drama has been fascinating to watch. 210 million in volume. Outcomes can be proposed with just a $750 bond. Laugh out loud. 4 whales own like 40% of the UMA supply. Laugh out loud. 1 whale controls about 25%. Laugh out loud. Voting incorrectly caused you to get slashed for just 0.1% of your stake. Meanwhile, UMA staking 21% APR. The game is flawed and rigged. So that's not good. Interesting recent development in the Zelensky suit situation. An account potentially created by Kalshi, which is the competitor that I just showed you, is now the largest holder of the yes position. There is speculation that there is their play to sue Polymarket if market resolves to no. The plot thickens. What do y'all think? This is a smart play potentially. And they're like, look, they're playing marketing on this. They're saying sign up on our website, promo code SUIT. The Suitgate. They're doing marketing based on the Suitgate. Good PR for them no matter what happens. People are mad at Polymarket. And here's a great thread by Omer Goldberg. I'm not going to read all this, but it's really long about how Polymarket works and things like that. All right, let me just take a quick look at the poll to see what y'all are voting. Is he wearing a suit? Closer to 50-50 now. Like I said, folks, I'm ending the poll, but I used to be yes, but now, after reading all this, I changed my mind to no. I think they are right to say no, it is not a suit, because it's the spirit that matters. And the spirit, if you ask most normies, look, easy test. Send that photo to your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, friend, no context, and just say, is this a suit? Yes or no. And then if you need, gather more data points. Easy test. If most of them say no, then this should be a no. That's what I'm saying. This should be a no if most of them say no. It's a spirit for the normies, not people coping, not people trying to get brownie points on crypto Twitter or just complaining, trying to sue, whatever. It's the spirit that matters in this market. I don't have any skin in the prediction market. I think it's a suit. Def suit. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Let us do some influencer calls. This is my favorite part of the stream. Let us do some KOL call tracking. Oh, by the way, real quick, if you don't mind, 100 likes. That's the goal. We got there last time. Thank you so much. Let's get there again this time. Okay, KOL call tracking. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Did we get any from Wiz? Yeah, we already got one by Wiz. Gel said cycle top in October. We had gel somewhere here, but okay, let me add this one. Crypto gel When is this? July 8th. July 8th, 2025. BTC top in October. Gotta wait till end of year to see if he's right or wrong. Okay, I added him. Let me take a screenshot too. Quick screenshot of this. Let's see. What else? What else? Dang, do I not have any other? Like, we have this by Wiz, but we kind of already captured that. Let me see if I have more in my... Let me get at least like one or two more. Hmm. Yeah, but they don't really put calls on their X account, Maverick. They don't really put calls. Let's see. Does if Lark Davis. Let's see if he has any calls. Like, this is so general. This is not even engagement bait, news. I don't like any of these. Okay, let's see if Full Value Dan has. There we go, Full Value Dan. Let's see if he has any calls here. There's no calls. It's just, yeah, no calls. Ooh, here's some good ones. 88. What? 88 SAT radio. Okay, let's see. 88. 88 SAT radio? Does that show up anything? Mitch Ray TA. Okay, that probably will. Mitch Ray TA. Here we go. Mitch Ray TA. BTC chop continues. Not even close to out of the woods yet. Don't get cocky. Breakout ends up being a fake out. God Candle, please be real. Any longer term calls? Yeah, I like Mitch Ray. I'll give him a follow, but nothing really here that I want to add to to the sheet per se. Let me see if there's any other good ones here. Okay. Wow, check this out. This is random. Carvana has pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in stock market history. 99% down and then 10,000% back up. That is crazy, guys. Anyone bought Carvana? This is insane. I got to bookmark this. Okay, let's see. I'm just trying to look for any calls I can add. Um, hmm. Okay, here we go. Here's one. Finally, I found one. Philip Swift. What date is this? I'm going to take a screenshot. July 9th, 2025. Local low for BTC. Okay, let's give this end of July TBD. Okay, I think that's it for now, but we have 47 here, and a lot of them are ending soon. So the deadline is soon, right? So we will be able to give what blood is he talking about? Good point. I mean, maybe a little bit of the ETF blood. Okay. Next segment, guys. Next segment. Tokenomics takedown. Remember, this time we're doing Hyperliquid's hype. So give me a sec. I am going to pull up some stuff. Okay. And share with y'all. Okay. So, sinks and faucets of Hyperliquid's hype, right? The primary way they enter circulation is through staking rewards and also through these. This is their initial token allocation, right? So airdrop already happened. They may sell some of their foundation budget, the core contributors amount, and these future emissions and rewards for future airdrops. That could be selling pressure in the future, right? So these are all faucets potentially. I believe this Genesis airdrop is fully out, so that isn't a concern. But the primary way is through staking rewards and also the other allocations I told you earlier. Now, sinks, remember, sinks are good. Sinks are how tokens leave circulation. The buyback, 97% of their trading fees is used to buy back hype from the open market. And we see that here. The assistance fund currently holds over $1 billion worth of hype. That is so impressive. And that I like a lot. And there's also burns from spot trading fees and hyper EVM gas fees, but it's really nothing. Very, very, very small compared to the buybacks. The buybacks is a massive sink, and it's part of the reason why Hyperliquid's hype has done so well. So just a little bit more about the faucets. The staking rewards is a faucet, a source of hype entering the market, and other distributions, like I said, right? These are the main two. And the sinks is buybacks, 97%. And the little bit of burns, a little bit. So we do have the conclusion here is I give it an A. However, we need sustained success in order to see this assistance fund continue to grow in terms of the buyback. And we got to keep an eye on the future emissions and also the sales of the budget and the contributors, right? But no other project in the space has so much buyback power, which is amazing for token holders, which is why I hold a lot of hype. Still hold a lot of hype. So, folks, what do you want me to do next? I forget what y'all wanted me to do next for Tokenomics Takedown. Was it SWE? Was it something else? Let me know in the chat. But real quick, change my mind segment. I want you to change my mind. One sec. This is my change my mind. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me share my screen. My change my mind is that crypto is screwed post Trump. Oh, okay. I'll do Mantle and Say. Okay. I'll do both of them. Because Trump is doing a lot of good things for our industry, but there's also a lot of things that people don't like crime season and their family kind of taking, doing a lot of like backroom deals and things like that. So if like AOC comes in, she may sell all our Bitcoin with executive fiat. And right here, if you think the SBR of crypto reserve should be done by executive fiat, answer me this. It's January 29th, 2029, day one of President AOC's term. Her finger hovers over the market sell the government's 1 million BTC button. Do you feel lucky? I know this is like fan fiction, whatever, but it is something to keep in mind. If the midterms don't happen well because people are pissed about some stuff, if a Democrat president comes in, they may reverse a lot of the things that Trump is doing for our space. They may put in laws against crime season and go down hard because of what like his family is doing in backroom deals and things like that, right? So that's why I might change my mind is we may be screwed for a while post-Trump. And we may want to sell before then, right? What do y'all think? Are y'all going to sell before his term ends? Yes, please hit that like. So yeah, folks, apologies for the delay, 30 minutes later than usual, but thank you all so much for joining. That's it for today. I will cover Mantle and Say for Tokenomics Takedown next time. See you all when? That's right, Friday, 12 noon Eastern time. See y'all. Hope y'all had a good one. I had a good stream with y'all today too.